Every time this girl is reincarnated, she carries with her the memories of her past lives. This is her 18th life. One day, she's out on the street painting. A boy accidentally bumps into her easel. Anna scolds him loudly, but the boy doesn't apologize. Instead, he just runs off. Anna is frustrated but feels helpless. The next day, her mother takes her to a luxurious villa. That's where the boy lives. The boy's mother is seriously ill. As soon as the two women meet, they embrace each other warmly. During their conversation, the boy's mother curiously asks how Anna's mother managed to raise her so well. Anna's mother is just as puzzled, as she has no idea why Anna is so mature.
어떨 땐 나보다 더 어른같이 굴기도 하고 쟤가 내 딸이 맞나 싶기도 해.
What she doesn't know is that her daughter remembers the events from her past 17 lives. As Anna walks around the room, she sees Bill trying to reach for a book on a high shelf. She approaches him and intending to help, but Bill pushes her away forcefully. Anna throws the book at his head. Bill has never been treated this way before. He warns her that if he yells now, she'll be in serious trouble, but Anna isn't scared of his threats. She walks up to Bill and tells him that if he does, he'll disappear. Just like that hair tie. Bill is stunned. He picks up the book from the floor and asks if Anna is the witch he's heard of. Seeing that Bill is frightened, Anna tells him the truth about her reincarnation. Bill is shocked by what she says. Afterward, Anna leaves with her mother. Bill becomes increasingly curious about her. In the days that follow, the two children spend time together, growing closer and happier. Meanwhile, Bill's mother's condition worsens. Knowing she doesn't have much time left, she tells Anna,
우리 선 부탁해도 될까?
Anna finds a heartbroken Bill and comforts him, telling him to call her whenever he's feeling down, and she'll come give him a hug. Bill asked after hearing this,
나 좋아해? 그건 다음 네 생일날 대답해줄게.
On Bill's birthday, Anna gives him a gift box. The box is locked, and Anna tells him that if he's good, she'll tell him where the key is hidden. While they're chatting, a truck suddenly speeds by. The truck drove off without stopping. Anna throws herself in front of Bill to shield him. She takes the brunt of the impact and is greatly injured. Her 19th life is about to begin. This 9-year-old girl suddenly remembers. In her past life, she was in a car accident. At the time, she was only 12 years old. She shielded a young boy. The girl was so scared that she collapsed on the ground. This is her 19th life. Her name is Gray. She was born into an unfortunate family. Her father spends all his time drinking and gambling. He spends every day searching the house for money. Her mother can't stop him. He has turned the entire house upside down. Gray sighs helplessly.
이번 쉽지 않겠는데?
To get money to find Bill, she decides to perform on a TV show. She speaks fluent Spanish, thanks to the memories from her past lives. She is fluent in several languages. She's also very knowledgeable about historical details. Even the host calls her a child prodigy. She quickly becomes famous, and the offers for performances keep pouring in. But all the money Gray earns is taken by her father. He takes the money to the casino, and in one night, he loses it all. Then, he comes back and takes all of Gray's savings. Faced with such a dark life, Gray can only comfort herself.
괜찮아. 예전엔 전쟁통에도 태어났었어. 지금은 아무것도 아니야.
To confirm if Bill is still alive, Gray decides to leave home. She goes to a small eatery and hands a note to the owner. The note reads, "I'm Uncle Jack. Please lend this child some money. I have an urgent need." The owner is puzzled. Since her uncle has been dead for many years, Gray is anxious and suddenly notices a photo on the wall. She points to each person in the photo and recites what happened at that time. The owner is completely stunned.
저기 제 중삼촌 말이야. 그 삼촌이 죽어서 환생한 것이 바로 나예요.
In Gray's 17th life, she was reincarnated as the owner's uncle. Back then, he was named Jack. He is a famous acrobat, but at a young age, he fell seriously ill. He embraced his niece, telling her not to be sad, because he would be reincarnated again. They would meet again soon. They also made a promise. Now, this is really happening. The owner can hardly believe it. Then Gray tells her about Bill, hoping the owner can lend her some money. The owner is still a bit doubtful, but she eventually agrees. After a long journey, Gray finally arrives at the familiar villa. She climbs over the wall and into the yard. Then she climbs a large tree and sees Bill through the window.
서아야, 하나 있어줘서 고마워.
This woman is getting ready to go to work. Two scammers suddenly stop her. They tell her she's cursed with bad luck. It will make this life even shorter than her last one. The woman smiles when she hears this.
저 전생에 10살 때 죽었어. 게다가 지금 19회차 인생이고요.
To see her past life lover again, Gray worked tirelessly. She successfully got hired at Bill's company. After 2 years of hard work, Gray's position in the company kept climbing. But Bill was at the German branch at the time. Meeting him wouldn't be easy, so she came up with a bold idea. Go to Germany to find Bill. But her supervisor rejected her transfer request. He said the German branch mainly hired locals, and only management level could be transferred there. To get promoted faster, Gray started working even harder. One day she was testing a new car. Even though the steering wheel might have issues, Gray insisted on testing it one more time. him, just got out of the car. She ran into someone from a rival company. He offered her a much higher salary, trying to get Gray to join his company. Gray didn't even think twice before turning him down. She was about to leave when she suddenly overheard his phone call. Bill had returned to the country. He was at a hotel right now. Gray's face lit up with excitement. She immediately rushed to the hotel. A fish tank at the entrance caught her attention, because Bill once told her he was a turtle in his past life. While she was staring at the turtle, a man appeared on the other side. Gray recognized him instantly. This was Bill, the man she'd sought for over a decade. But Bill didn't recognize her. Gray followed him to the pool. She asked him the same question as 10 years ago.
그 밑에 뭐가 있었어? 그 밑에 뭐가 있어요?
Bill heard her and walked right up to her, just as Gray was filled with anticipation. Bill told her this was a private area. He treated Gray like a complete stranger. The next day, Bill came to the company to see his father. His father wanted him in strategic planning. Master all shareholder information within a week. Here overseas performance reports department. Bill completely ignored him. His father got so angry he pounded the table. That's when Bill finally put in his hearing aid. Turns out he'd deliberately not been listening to his father. He stood up and announced his decision.
어머니 호텔 살려보려고요.
This girl has been reincarnated 19 times. With 19 different pairs of parents, but she doesn't miss any of those parents. The only two people she remembers are, one is her niece from her previous life, and the other is the boy she protected in her past life. After living so many lives, she has seen through many things. She's also become brave enough to love openly. Her courage to pursue love even surpasses that of any man. Since the age of 9, she regained all the memories of her past 18 lives. The only person she cares about is the boy she protected with her life in her last life. Following the clues from her memories, she finally found him. Meeting him again gave her a sense of peace, but it also made her fall deeply in love with him. From then on, a little girl would always follow Bill. Days went by. Aside from studying, she happily lived with her niece from her previous life. It became a habit for her to follow Bill every day, but this peaceful life didn't last long. One day, Bill suddenly disappeared. 8 years passed in the blink of an eye. Gray had grown into a beautiful young woman. She got into a prestigious university with excellent grades. Over the years, she had been searching for Bill. Finally, she found the company where Bill worked. To meet him sooner, Gray decided to apply to this company. With her outstanding work abilities, she quickly became a core member of the team. She even often received invitations from other companies, but things didn't go as planned. After working for a long time, she still hadn't met Bill. She repeatedly asked her team leader to transfer her to the country where Bill was working. Then one day, while at work, she heard some news. Bill had finally returned to the country. At that moment, she just wants to see him right away. When she arrived at the hotel, looking at the aquarium in front of her, she recalled all the memories of their past. She never expected the one she'd missed for so long was right in front of her. She looked at him with eyes full of love, which made Bill feel a little shy. Bill tried to leave, but Gray chased after him. She finally caught up with him and said the words from their childhood, but everything had changed now. The truth was, Bill's reason for coming back was to revive the glory his mother had when she was alive. He wanted to start a new company, even though his father strongly opposed it. He was determined to go ahead with it. What he didn't expect was that, as soon as he started hiring, he received Gray's resume. Gray's resume could only be described as perfect, so flawless that it had no weaknesses. Bill even thought it was too perfect, and considered rejecting her. His assistant persuaded him to at least interview her first, but during the interview, Gray's boldness completely exceeded his expectations.
판단하기 어려우시면 저랑 한번 사귀어보실래요?
This girl suddenly remembers all 19 of her past lives, from ancient wars to modern society. She recalls every single lifetime with perfect clarity. She watches her parents fighting in this life. The girl realizes something.
평생 쉽지 않겠는데.
The next morning, she watches her mom walk out with her suitcase. She knows from now on, she's on her own. She uses her past life memories to enter a dance competition. The audience erupts in applause, because in a previous life, she was a professional dancer. After her performance, she delivers a speech in fluent Spanish. The host is stunned. No one expected this little girl to speak multiple languages, and her knowledge of history is incredibly detailed. Soon, Gray becomes a nationally famous child star. Performance offers keep pouring in. She thinks she can finally have a good life, but all the money she worked so hard for, her father gambles it all away in a single night. Her brother found out she'd made a lot of money. He broke into the house and searched everywhere, and takes every last cent she had left. Facing this kind of family, Gray can only endure it, but she can't keep living like this. She decides to run away from home. One reason is to escape her father. The other is to find a boy named Bill. But right now, she's completely broke, so she relies on her past life memories, and goes to a small restaurant. She hands a note to the owner.
나 중호삼촌이다. 급한 사정이 있으니 이 아이에게 돈 좀 빌려다오.
The owner looks at her and feels confused. Gray quickly explains she has an emergency and needs this money. She promises to pay it back double later. She points at the TV, saying she's Gray, the popular child star. The owner recognizes her, but she's still puzzled. Uncle Jack has been dead for years. How could he have written this note? The girl points to the photos on the wall. She tells the story behind each one. She tells the owner. In her past life, she was her Uncle Jack. It turns out in Gray's 17th life, she was reborn as a man. She made a living performing acrobatics at a circus. He and his niece Lucy depended on each other, but he suddenly fell seriously ill. Lucy was heartbroken. Uncle told her he would be reborn, and promised he'd come back to find her. They made a promise gesture together. Looking at the girl before her, Lucy thinks she must be Uncle's daughter.
아따, 같은 삼촌 맞대도. 아야, 삼촌이 너 애 주신 지 5분 키웠어.
Lucy asks what she needs all this money for. Gray says she needs to see someone important, because she promised him in her past life that she'd come back for him. The woman kept her past life memories after reincarnation. She finally found her lover from her past life. When they first met, she said something shocking.
저랑 사귀실래요?
Bill was completely stunned. She had turned a job interview into a marriage proposal. On the way home that evening, Bill kept thinking about what had just happened. Even though he had never met Gray, he felt an inexplicable sense of familiarity with her. Meanwhile, Gray was reflecting on her own actions. She had planned to approach Bill slowly, but when she saw his face, the words just came out uncontrollably. Her niece telling her not to worry too much. She encouraged Gray to bravely pursue the one she loved. The next day, Bill was talking to his secretary on the phone, but the secretary's phone is off. Several cars drove past him, honking their horns non-stop. The noise around him was making his headache worse. Bill quickly took off his hearing aid, but even then, the panic still made it hard for him to breathe. A truck was driving straight toward him. A vision of his car accident flashed before his eyes. Bill was so terrified that he froze in place. Gray happened saw what was happening. She immediately ran over and grabbed Bill. Bill asked her why she suddenly ran. Gray said she would explain later, but it was too risky to talk about it now. Bill believed her, and even ran ahead of her. Gray couldn't keep up and stopped. Bill asked what was going on.
장모님 심심하실까봐.
Eh?
그냥요. 재밌잖아요.
They sat down to rest and have some water. Gray knew Bill had almost had a panic attack just now. She understood that feeling. In her 10th life, she had been caught in a war. At that time, she was the only one to survive. The battlefield's horrors were etched in her mind. She lost all sense of reason. Her chest hurt so much she could barely breathe. She ran desperately, not knowing how long she had been running. Eventually, she stopped in a field of flowers. She took a deep breath. All the intense longing and sad memories had disappeared during her run. She decided to want to live again. Bill listened intently, but soon realized something didn't add up. That war had happened over 400 years ago. Gray quickly explained. She had read about it in a book. The book was so detailed that it made her feel like she had been there. Bill insisted that she answer honestly. He asked if what she had just said was true. He was prepared to listen carefully to her answer, but Gray suddenly said,
나랑 결혼하자. 응?
결혼하자.
Bill was shocked. He asked why she had proposed. Gray replied that it was a hint. They had actually met a long time ago. She told him to think carefully and remember.